Border crossings of Mexicans going into America are down 93%.
In 3 weeks.
20 million to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq.
That was my favourite one, that one. But what he does there will filter through. He'll have a lot of impact across UK and Europe. It's all secondary impact.
Employees at federal agencies were given until 5 p.m. on the same day to remove pronouns from their emails, or they will be sacked.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thousands of military who were discharged for refusing jabs have been reinstated.
Excellent.
And I think you said they got the back pay.
They're going to get back pay. And so they should.
There's a great video of a lady called Liu Lijun, who's a Chinese national, who works at UCLA, studies at UCLA, who spent all the time organising pro-Palestinian rallies.
Yeah.
There's a great video of her being arrested and deported.
Yeah.
And the look on her face is unbelievable, because she's like, I don't really understand what's going on here. But why not?
Yeah.
Why? That is exactly what should be happening to these people. Agitators from a foreign country sent back to their country, basically.
And over the next few days, it was reported that lots of foreign students in America are deleting their social media apps because of all the crap that's on it. Because they're scared of being deported. They've started wiping their social media apps.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. That's fantastic. Yeah. He's imposed tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China.
Yeah.
However, the tariffs were paused on Mexico after Mexico sent thousands of Mexican troops
to the
border to stop people crossing into America. And border crossings, and this is a hell of a statistic, Nick. Border crossings of Mexicans going into America are down 93%.
In 3 weeks.
Unbelievable.
93% in 3 weeks. Where we've had years of politicians telling us nothing can be done to stop the flow. Stop 93% in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and this is what you've always said. Yeah. You've always said if you ever got into power, you would stop immigration instantly. Yeah, and it can be done.
Can be done.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've now actually seen it.
You just need the balls to do it.
93%. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I wonder whether the people in the mainstream, what I call the middle ground, are actually aware of this stuff, or do you think the media here is keeping this information from them?
They know about it in America. The middle ground in America know all about it.
Yeah.
They're cheering it.
Yeah.
In this country, no.
The Panama Canal has agreed to let US Navy ships pass through now for free, basically. So I think they were restricted before, that's fine. Argentina is now withdrawing from the World Health Organization. But one of the biggest stories, and again, I don't think people in this country are hearing all about it, there's an organization called USAID in America.
I never heard of it until this stuff went on.
So Musk went in there with three of his, like a bunch of 5 young, the guys he went in with are like 22 years old, the young guys, and they basically closed it down. Yeah. And this place has been given money to millions of places, including Tony Blair, including the BBC, Politico, which is a media thing, which basically is left-wing media, has been given $8 million by this. So there was an article by a senator saying the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan, to Yemen, to Syria. The USAID has 10,000 employees, and every year they give away $40 billion. Electric vehicles in Vietnam, a transgender clinic in India, 1.5 million to a Serbian LGBT group, 164 million to support radical organisations around the world, basically. 2 million for a sex change in Guatemala, which of course is 20 million to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq.
That was my favourite one, that one. You can imagine a cookie monster in Iraq.
$10 million to meals to an Al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group called the Nusra Front. 7.9 million to a project will teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. And including in there money to Tony Blair, quite a lot to Tony Blair, and to Chelsea Clinton.
Yeah.
So
just pure propaganda, propagating this crap across the world, trying to buy influence, trying to get this woke virus in other countries that don't have it. I mean, 40 billion a year they've saved now. That's 40 billion.
It's 40 billion just like that.
Yeah.
Which is a massive amount of money.
Yeah.
There was an interview with a USAID employee by one of the mainstream media, and she was saying, oh yeah, these guys turned up, we didn't know what to do, so we took down our pride flags, and I took out any incriminating books. Why have they got pride flags and incriminating books at work anyway? But they didn't realise, they're so thick, these people, and they're so indoctrinated,
No.
they don't actually realise that isn't what they should be doing, do they?
Well, according to their bosses, it is what they should be doing. So this was the culture of those organisations.
There's also a great picture of Trump surrounded by young girls, and he's signing an executive order which is to ban trannies in women's sports, basically men in women's sports. And anybody who said that Trump does not support women's rights cannot say that any longer, because there's 3 executive orders he's released. One is there's only 2 genders.
Yeah.
The second one is banning, I think, surgeries, is it trans surgeries?
Yeah.
And the third one is stopping men from competing in women's sports. And that picture, I think nobody can now argue that Trump doesn't support or care about women.
They'll still argue that. It doesn't matter. You know, you've got Kemi Badenoch, you know, a black leader of the Tory party, who's called racist every day. So it doesn't matter what the right do, they're still going to be called the same names. Trump will still be called the same names, regardless of what he does.
Yeah. Viktor Orban, is he the president of Hungary?
Yeah.
He said everyone in Brussels can see the Trump tornado coming.
Yeah.
They think that they can get away from it.
Yeah.
They won't.
Yeah.
Is that what you think now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think your views, Nick, have changed on Trump, haven't they? Because I think you initially thought it won't make any difference to us what happens.
No, you keep saying that.
I'm going to go back and find the video.
You misremember. What I said was him being elected will have no direct impact on the UK. But he'll have lots of secondary impact on the UK, as in what he does there will filter over here. So him being president can't change anything in the UK because he doesn't control the UK. Labour government don't like him, won't talk to him, he's not in partnership with them. That's what I meant. But then I did say, but what he does there will filter through. He'll have a lot of impact across UK and Europe, but it's all secondary impact. Still very useful, still very important.
I'm going to go back and find
Make sure you do.
I'm going to go back and find that
That's
video.
3 times now you've misquoted me.
Can any of our gentle viewers find the video where he just basically says Trump will have no impact? He's looking to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so crazy, Trump, in a way, that when he says these things, it's hard to argue. Because that is so off the wall in terms of a concept. I mean, what he's basically saying is we're going to turn Gaza into somewhere like Dubai or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And he's going to deport all the Palestinians.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Now, Trump's great at this. What he does is he says a very outrageous thing, and then when he negotiates with you, what he then says then sounds quite sensible, so you take it. Because he started off right over there, and suddenly now it's like, oh, he's come down a bit. Yeah, well, we'll take that, Mr. Trump. So we don't know what he's negotiating, and we don't know if he's got a plan behind this. You know, how many million Palestinians is there in Gaza? He could say to different countries, you know, you support the Palestinians. Why don't you take 100,000 and we'll fund you to take them, and then the Gaza Strip is left over and we run it. But you can buy countries. Yeah,
you can. My favourite executive order, which I think he signed this week, is getting rid of paper straws. and that is just such a fantastic thing, because I think I came here the other day and I was complaining because I'd got a McDonald's and they'd replaced it with a paper freaking cup. So hopefully the plastic tops are coming back to McDonald's, and that is a fantastic thing. And as he said, sharks aren't bothered about plastic when they're munching their way through the sea to Trump. And I thought, yeah, he's right. Sharks aren't bothered about a bit of plastic, are they? So I thought that was a perfect explanation for it at the time.
Plastic straws was just one of those virtue signalling things.
Yeah.
From, again, the Tory government.
Yeah.
Who wanted to look like they were, you know, protecting the environment. And the truth is, plastic straws in this country do not end up in the seas in the South Pacific. So we don't have an issue with throwing away plastic straws in the seas. That's all other countries in the South Pacific do that. It's got nothing to do with us. But it was just pathetic virtue signalling, which put on more costs to businesses.
Correct. There are still some crazy Democrats out there. There's a lady called Lori Pahutsky who has actually got herself sterilised because of Trump.
This.
And I think that is a real tragedy. I mean, she's clearly mentally ill.
Yeah, but at least she's not passing her genes on.
That's true, yeah.
So those
true, yeah.
sometimes you need a little bit of chlorine in the gene pool.
Darwin, evolution, yeah. I thought that was really quite sad.
It's sad. It is sad because, she's a woman. She's not going to experience motherhood now. This is self-abuse, all because the left-wing nutcases have convinced her that he's the devil, and you don't want to bring a child into the world because it's run by the devil now. And there'll be other people committing suicide, because they think Hitler's taken over America. Some people are very broken, and it doesn't take much to push them over the edge.
There's a great video of two white female Democrats. I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. And they're holding up a sign saying "Trust Black Women." So a guy goes to interview them. He's obviously, he's obviously quite clever. He says, "What's this about trusting black women?" Yeah, well, we need to trust black women. They know what they're doing. We do blah blah. He said, "Did you know that millions of black women voted for Trump?" And one of the white women went to the other white woman, "Did they?" He went, "Oh yeah, you did. She did. Oh well, they
don't trust those ones."
Yeah. She said, "Oh well, they needed to be, they haven't connected the dots." And they said, "Oh, is it white women that can show them how to do that? It's because they're a bit stupid." Yeah. Is that what you're saying? He said, "Well, no, we're not saying that. It's just that they don't know they're not voting for what's good for them." "Oh, but you know what's good for them, do you? So you can educate them, can't you? Because they're a bit thick, these white women. So we should trust black women apart from these stupid ones who don't know what they're doing, and then they need to be told like white women." And these two women are just like, and it sums up exactly the way they think. They don't know any black women. They probably don't understand. They believe black women have no agency or no independent thought. They categorise people. They lump people.
They've never thought about it. That's all. It's a nice sign, and we're going to get some good points off our friends for that. Now, should we trust black women? There's a continent called Africa.
Yeah.
Full of black women.
Yeah.
It's a shithole.
Yeah.
So how are they doing there?
Well, I think the reality of that is you can trust some black women.
Of course you can.
And you can't trust some black women. And you can trust some white women and you can't trust some other white women.
They're individuals, aren't they?
Correct.
Every individual.
That's the point. But when the hilarious thing was when he said, "Do you know millions of black women voted for Trump?" They went, "Did they?"
I saw a little video the other day. I forgot the woman's name, but same. She go around interviewing people, and there was some Antifa woman got a mask on, and she's got her shoulder sign up, and the masked woman shouts to the presenter, "You smell of shit," and the woman says to her, "I'm sorry, you're wearing a mask. I think what you're doing is smelling your breath." And this woman went, I didn't know what to say next.
They're brilliant, aren't they? And then just finally on Trump, Bernie Ecclestone, who I've never really had much time for.
The racing guy.
Yeah, the racing. He's literally about that big. He's about 2 foot tall. There's an article by him in the Telegraph or the Times, and he said Donald Trump is the best thing that could happen to the world.
What?
And I thought, yeah, that's a great thing, really. And he's a really interesting character, this Bernie Ecclestone guy. Gone from nothing to being a billionaire, but a really interesting guy. And he was, I think I sent it to you because I was conscious of your age. In fact, you're very similar, but you're about the same height and about the same age. And he said, when I got to 80, I thought I've got maybe 4 or 5 years left. But he said, now I'm at 90, I'm feeling... And I thought, that's the spirit, isn't it? What a fantastic spirit in life to have. When he was 80, he was like, oh, I've only got 4 or 5 years left. Like most people, when they get to 60, think I've got 4. He's like, I've got 4 or 5 years left at 80. And it's kind of interesting that he sees Donald Trump as a kind of real hero. Donald Trump is now nearly 80, 79 I think now. And the energy he has and the sheer volume of work he's doing at that age is a lesson to us all, really, isn't it?
It is. I can't see him keeping it up over 4 years. But he knows his legacy will be made at the beginning of his term. He has to go for broke now. Yeah. And he's got lots of help and support and, good medical staff, good diet. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. So, he's got a good diet anyway.